So I'll just start by saying that, welcome to everybody. We thank you for joining us today. We're going to cover what I like to call the ABCs of CBD with Dr. Pam Marcum. So we're going to answer the top 5 questions that we get asked most often about CBD. And in case we haven't met, my name is Jennifer, and I have a passion to help people sleep better, live better, and feel better, introducing them to the endocannabinoid system and the natural health benefits of CBD. So without further ado, do you want to just sort of introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. I'm Dr. Pam Marcum. I am a clinical psychologist. I live in Ohio, and I have 8 children, and I homeschool them. So around the time I was around the time I think I had about the 5th one, I was like, maybe later, 6 or so, I don't remember, somewhere in there, I was like, I need to make money from home because it's hard to go out and work, even part-time, when you're homeschooling.
Right.
And I like my profession and everything, and I still work part-time off and on, but I was like, I need to help out. My husband's an engineer. He's always worked, a lot of hours.
Right.
And I was like, he needs some help. We need to build up some retirement. We need to be able to go on vacations and, do some other things. So I had tried network marketing before. I think 2001 was my first time, and I did fairly well, but then I had more babies and got busy. And, so a few years ago, I was in a different company and did pretty well, but, it just wasn't as fulfilling as what I have found here. These products are so amazing. I didn't know what the endocannabinoid system was 2 years ago. Which kind of makes me mad because I went to grad school and internship and I studied the brain in great detail. I'm a clinical psychologist. That's what we do. And nobody told me we have this system. I found out recently only 10% of medical schools even teach about it. So most doctors don't know it either.
Right.
So
let's start with number 1 question we always get asked. Number 1 and number 2 kind of go together. So what is CBD and why should I care? Or why should I want to use it?
Okay, well, CBD oil is a phytocannabinoid. That means it's a cannabinoid. Like we already produce a little bit in our own bodies. That's what endo means, inside the body. But we don't have enough. For thousands of years, everybody had this in their system because hemp grew naturally. Animals grazed on it. It was in the food, it was in the meat, the milk, the cheese, people used hemp itself. So it was only in the 1930s when it became illegal, and that was for money reasons, that we started to be starved of it. So, we need this, we need the cannabinoids because of our system that we have that needs to be fed, and it just has so many effects. The receptors are all through the brain, they're all through the body, they're in the organs and the central nervous system. So when people say, why does it help so many things? That's why, because we have the receptors everywhere. So when you take CBD oil, it feeds that system. It's calming to the brain. It brings down inflammation. It helps with pain. It helps with so many different things, and that's why.
And that's the thing I think people find hardest to believe, is just that one thing could do so many different things for one person, which I think is just amazing.
Yeah, so. It is. It's kind of crazy. I like to look at history of things a little bit, and like before the 1930s, doctors gave out CBD oil in elixirs for about 100 different illnesses.
Right.
So.
Definitely. Yeah, I've done the research on that too. So when I was first introduced to this, I was raised by a mom who was a paralegal. I was a paralegal in the Judge Advocate General's Corps in the Army for 5 years. So I've always steered clear of anything to do with cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first heard about this, of course, one of the biggest questions you always get is, can this get me high?
Right. And that's a fair question.
Right.
But marijuana is a different thing. They're cousins, but they're not the same thing. Marijuana has a high concentration of THC, which is what gets people high, the psychoactive component. CBD has a very tiny trace of it. So it's legal in all 50 states federally. If it's less than 0.3% THC, our oil is 0.03. So that's 10 times less than that.
Right.
So yeah, there's no high at all. There's no psychoactive component to our oil, just the healing properties.
Well, and since we're on that topic, I'll let you talk just briefly about both the 2014 Farm Bill and now the 2018 Farm Bill, because I have to say for myself personally, now that it's been signed, I kind of feel like not only do I have the ability to speak about it more openly, but I also feel more comfortable doing so, and definitely want to be on the forefront of just bringing this to the general population, because most people just don't have a clue.
Right,
So.
I understand, and I didn't either. So, we can't blame
Right.
anybody.
Yeah.
But the 2014 Farm Bill made it so that industrial hemp was okay. It was okay to grow and use for products, and that's the 0.3% and less, and that's what we use.
Right.
But the 2018 Farm Bill, which was just signed in December by President Trump, and Senator Mitch McConnell spearheaded it. He's the Senate
Right.
Majority Leader and the senator from Kentucky, and that's actually where our product is grown,
Right.
organic and non-GMO by Jen Canna. But he wanted farmers to be able to grow it as a cash crop again, and he would not back down until that was included in the Farm Bill language. Our growers actually on the U.S. Hemp Roundtable, and he lobbied Senator McConnell and others to make sure the wording was right. So in that 2018 Farm Bill, it took industrial hemp totally off the Controlled Substances Act. And also there's language, yeah, that's great. And there's language in there actually about CBD oil itself to protect it.
Right.
So,
Right, which is awesome. Yeah. All right. So another question people ask often is, can I use CBD oil and still pass a drug test? So if I've got like a CDL license, or I'm in the government, military, that sort of thing, how does that work?
It's a good question. With our normal full spectrum oil, with the 0.03% THC, our experience is that most people do pass. But if you have a job like that where you're concerned, then we have the THC-free oil, and that is just CBD extracted. So the only thing in there is CBD, nothing else. So there's no THC, and you will not fail the test.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I have to add, so I've been on it myself for 5 or 6 months, and I just personally wanted to know, could I pass the drug test? So I went down to Walmart and I bought one and sent it in. They actually came back and it showed negative, which I was really surprised by. So they tested down to 50 nanograms. I don't know if that's typical for an employment drug screening or not. I like the fact that I at least came back negative as far as Walmart's drug test is concerned.
Right.
So it's
we
very minuscule.
Yeah, we have a lot of customers that use that are CDL, or like my daughter is an RN. She's they have random drug testing. She uses the THC free. We haven't had anybody not pass yet. There's no way not to pass.
No way not to.
Right.
Exactly. All right, and then tell me, what is the difference between this oil and what they can, like, where you can run down to the local head shop or smoke shop and pick up some CBD oil? What's the difference between that and the oil that we take?
Well, I can't speak to every brand out there, but the ones that I've seen, and I've seen quite a few, customers will send me pictures of the label, and I'll look at it. And I don't think I've ever seen one that didn't have additives.
Right.
They almost all have extra additives that are not necessary, like other oils, coconut oil, MCT oil, whatever. Sometimes it's high up in the ingredient list. So the higher up means the more there is.
Right.
You're paying for additives that, first of all, you don't need, and second of all, might even interfere with it working. So our oil, what we've seen so many people that have tried other brands with not much success, come over to Hempworx, try ours, and then it works. And I've seen that just over and over. Ours is 80% non-GMO organic CBD oil, and that is, That's 80%. And then 20% hemp oil, which is also organic and all. You have to have a carrier oil because CBD is very sticky. There would be no way to deliver it very well. So that's all that's in ours. The only other additive would be if you choose to have one of the flavors, and that's pure cinnamon oil or pure peppermint oil.
Which both taste fantastic.
They do. I love them. Yeah, they're really good.
I heard Michaela the other night mention on one of her videos that she sees a lot of people who will buy it for their pets before they buy it for themselves. Well, that was us. I had a friend of mine share some homemade CBD cookies with me to give to our 12-year-old yellow lab, Nemo. And they made such a difference for him that sent me on this journey of learning about it. Well, then I went, when I ran out of those, I went to the local pet food store and I started buying different CBD oils, and none of them worked, none of them helped him. So then I started reading about ingredients and finding things like, bovine derived gelatin and stuff like that in them, which obviously didn't do anything for them. And so ultimately, through a bunch of research, I finally found this product. I love the fact that it's only got 2 ingredients in it. And the results are obviously night and day. And then the other thing for me is when I met up with Elke, she offered to put me in the private group that we have, which is at that point in time only had 20,000 people in it. Now we're over 70,000, and it's all just people using the product, sharing about it, sharing their stories and how it's impacted them. And I got to say, I can spend just hours a day reading all the different feedback from people and how much it's just turned their life around and helped them and blessed them. And so it's been awesome. So, and then after getting such great results with Nemo, we of course decided to try it. It helped my husband so much that he started sharing it with all the people he works with on a daily basis, and they all started saying, well, we want some. So I kind of ended up with a local following, and then I shared it with my mom, and she's just had amazing results. And for her, she had gone through brain surgery a couple of years ago and had a lot of just residual effects from the surgery, and one of them being that she would have kind of like the neurons in her head would start firing, and she'd have to just cup her hand over her head to try and calm all that down. And since she's been on the CBD oil, that hasn't happened for her anymore, which I think is just fantastic. And then
that's awesome.
Yeah, she's also got a knee problem. She's eventually going to need a knee replacement, but she has not had any pain in her knee since she started taking this. She actually saw the orthopedic, and he said, you got to be on every painkiller we can give you. And she looked at him and said, no, all I take is my CBD oil and I'm fine. So, I just think it's awesome that it's all natural. There's no side effects. You don't have to worry about, what it's doing to your kidney or your liver or anything like that. It's giving your body the tools it needs to heal itself, which I think is so amazing.
Yeah, I think one of the most interesting things about CBD oil is how it helps the body achieve homeostasis. So it goes to the receptors and it tells them to reset and to produce the right amount. So and for me, being a psychologist, I'm especially interested in mental health and how it helps in the brain. And it's so interesting how it sets the neurotransmitter levels better. It makes them work the way they're supposed to. Anxiety, depression, PTSD, so many different things that there's research. You can go look it up. There's research. There's more and more research.
And that was one of the things that really amazed me is when I started getting into it. I mean, you can Google CBD plus anything and the amount of research that's there. And it cracks me up because all the research has been done trying to prove that, marijuana and THC is bad, but yet there's a plethora of research as to how it benefits our bodies, all the different ways that it impacts us, which is just awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. My father, he's 85, just turned 85. And the other day we were sitting around at Christmas and he just mentioned that he'd been to the doctor. He'd been on the oil for a few months and he has diabetes, and the long-term test they do for blood sugar had come down 9 points,
which is a lot, I think, right?
Yeah, it's a lot for an 85-year-old. I was like, Dad, you're acting like that's he knew it was a big deal, but I was like, what? Why didn't you tell us?
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And the thing that it amazes me is it's a simple bottle that you put a few drops under your tongue morning and night. It's not some big regimen. It's not some, big deal that you have to do. It's just 2 quick quick times a day, and it just helps your body. It's awesome.
Yeah, we probably should mention our other products. I would say besides the oil, my second favorite is the Relief Cream.
Absolutely, yes.
Because I have fibromyalgia, you know, the stiffness I get in my neck or whatever. I mean, the oil takes care of almost all the pain. Once in a while, it's still a little bit stiff. I'll put that on and my head is moving fine within, I'm not kidding, 5 minutes.
Yeah, awesome.
You know? So, and then we have the two skin cares, CBD.
Those are my favorite, Relief and Revive.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah.
A night and a day cream. And then the pet treats.
Pet treats. Nemo loves those.
My dog loves these. She's 11, and they're helping her too. And then the bacon flavored oil for them, which I mistakenly gave to two of my kids different times. It's the same.
Well, it's the same oil, just a different flavoring.
Actually, it was worse than that. The one day I gave it to my son, and he's like, "Mom, that wasn't peppermint." And I'm like, "No wonder that tasted funny yesterday." See, I'm blonde. You know? And then at convention in October, which is awesome. Everybody needs to go to convention.
I got my tickets. I'll be there.
That'll be so fun.
Yeah.
They introduced the CBD infused coffee and creamers.
Right.
So we were so excited when we heard that. It's an awesome. I mean, you use both of those together, you get 10 milligrams right away in the morning, and it tastes great. And it's got other ingredients like chaga mushroom, which is a strong antioxidant. So here, you know, Josh and Jenna that run the company are so creative, so smart, so energetic. You know, there's just nowhere to go but up with this company. So
I will say, watching the two of them has caused me to reconsider my view on millennials. It's gone up tremendously.
Yes, they're very hardworking.
Oh, they're smart. They're caring. They're just awesome. I've enjoyed every little bit I've seen of both of them, which has just been amazing. And I'm kind of somebody who, behind the scenes, I sort of, you know, spent my time doing my research, allowing other people to try it, to get their feedback, because I'm just not somebody who will put my name behind something that I don't feel completely comfortable with. And so after having lots of people try it, now the Farm Bill passing, feeling good about the company itself and what they're up to and where they're going, I figure it's time to step out of my comfort zone and share it with people, because I just
I'm so glad you gave it a chance and you did your research, and now you have a strong story to tell everybody, so they, you know that, you know, you didn't just jump in for no reason or just to make money. This is about helping people, and that's
all about helping people.
That's the most rewarding part of all this. You know, I am a helper. That's my profession, and I don't have time to go do that in the way that I was used to, but I can do it this way. So it's just awesome. It's really fun. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Anything else that we should talk about?
Well, I just think, you know, people just need to know there's a 60-day money-back guarantee.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's awesome.
So there's no risk. Go ahead, try it. You can send it back empty if you don't like it. I don't think that's going to happen, but it gives you that feeling. Yeah, but at least you know you're not taking any chance.
Right, exactly. Yeah, very cool. Well, we'll just pray that this information finds its way to the people who need it the most. And if you have questions, reach out to me. If you want to be added to our private group where you can read other people's feedback and review about the products, I'll be happy to add you to it. And if you just want more information, let me know. So I appreciate you joining me, Dr. Pam. Appreciate your knowledge and your information. So
it was fun.
Yeah, and thank you for sticking with me until I figured out a way to make it work.
Hey, you know, that's why I have teenagers help me with that stuff.
Right, I need one of those.
Okay, we'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.